right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to all. Welcome back to Pre-Market Prep and Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared. It is May 31st, 2022. We're just about done with our May month so far. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful Memorial Day, sort of a 3-day weekend, and got some time to relax and reflect on the meaning of that day. So as we get back into practice, we obviously are starting our week on Tuesday, so we have a shorter trading week. S&Ps did have a very strong close last week relative to what has been just a relentless 7-week downtrend in regards to weekly closes. You'll notice last week we actually closed above 4 weekly closes. So the market was able to basically recover a lot of those settlement retracements. And as far as an engulfing in terms of pricing, we did engulf about 2 weeks of trade. We're obviously landing back into some prices that we haven't seen since mid-April to early May. So as we started to bounce, we noted last week there was a couple of ideas coming off of what was a very technical response to the market. Obviously, we had a swing low that the market tested and had no follow through. So that sort of sets the stage for a potential bear trap in regards to bears looking for more breakdown, often in poor location. And those are the ones that are going to be forced out of the market first. They sort of recognize that if there's no momentum, they obviously have to cover. And then, of course, you get the idea that new bears might have positioned relative to a swing high. That was our downtrend resistance. That, of course, got breached as well as we had a bearish channel with a bullish breakout. So all of these concepts, along with our location, we are looking at 20% from all-time high as of previous Friday's price levels. We saw sort of an entry into a bear market territory and then an immediate removal away from those areas. So not quite bear market yet. We didn't really have a close at that level, but we did test it from price perspective. And then, of course, our expected move. So as we often look at the SPX, we use this for expected move first and foremost. And the reason we do that is because this is a large option market that professionals tend to leverage. It's actually the largest notional value option market available in the US equities market. So it is where some professional trade lives, and it's where a lot of hedging signals can take place for us as shorter term traders. So last week, you'll notice we had a breach and a close outside of the expected move. Last week's expected move was only about 125 points, and that put our topside price at about 40.26. As we saw Thursday and Friday, we went much higher than that, and our total move from Friday to Friday close was about 256 points, with some of our largest moves. And this is from a position of the central point of the range to the highs or lows of a particular topping tail, about 257, which is pretty much the high of last week. You'll notice those prices are about the same. Additionally, we did have a little bit of a lower test. We did get below the previous Friday's close, and that puts up our total weekly range at about 283. So market's definitely giving us lots of volatility in terms of price movement. And what's been advantageous to us as intraday traders is recognizing what sort of session is the most likely. What we've seen so far is a lot of our big bearish sessions tend to occur off of overextension. They usually are occurring at or near the highs and then having continuation. But as far as the day of bearish behavior, you want to try and identify those as they're forming. And then, of course, as we get to a fresh low, the market tends to have its first pullback on the downtrend. Additionally, what we saw last week is none of that occurring. I think a lot of bears probably expected rejection. They were maybe using some of these swing highs as, sort of an absolute stop loss area. And the market simply did not do what it's been doing, which is reject on the overextension. The setup wasn't really quite there because we did have potential range definition. And at this point in time, we are looking at a possible breakout with continuation. So let's talk about the week ahead. With this breach of expected move, we are seeing, in the case of a bullish recovery market, the expected move has gone down slightly. As I mentioned before, it is a 4-day week, so expected move going down relative to the number of trading sessions. That's a bit more typical of the S&P. But additionally, when you have more bullish behavior, you often tend to see volatility readings come down. And that certainly was true last week with a little bit of vol reduction. All of that leads us to about a 100-point expected move. And that puts our price levels 100 points higher or lower from the close on Friday, which is about 42.59 and about 40.58, just rounding up slightly with some of the decimal points. So all in all, the market is showcasing what a bull rally can look like in a quote-unquote bear market. The question then remains, is this something that's sustainable? I think a lot of investors and traders are kind of asking, am I shifting bias? Am I doing something different than what I've been doing? Is the market giving me sort of an all clear signal? And should I be anticipating different behavior on pullbacks? Are pullbacks more likely to be bought, or will we see another leg lower in the future? For that, I think we can maybe put together a couple of thesis ideas for the week, especially since we're already seeing such a sharp recovery, and there will be pullbacks along the way. So first and foremost, we could say, what did the previous correction look like when it came to retracement size? If you're measuring from the Feb 24th low, sort of that absolute low, and then you start to look at where the rally occurred, which was approximately when we got outside of the downtrend retracement, we saw that the rallies were forced, in this case, up to about 61.8%. So lots of bearish behavior at this time. That, of course, had that relief rally. We saw lower highs on the weekly, and then the market went back into its normal downtrend structure after a couple of days of rejection. We can also look at what sort of percentage movement is coming off of these lows. So yes, the pricing model is going to be different. As prices are lower, percentage moves don't take as long to occur. But we can just talk relative to sort of a logarithmic scale and say that from low to high, this particular rally back in March to April lasted about 33 days, as you can see. So lasted about a month from that absolute low. And we saw about a 12 to 13% rally. So it's not out of the question to think that that can't happen again. And we certainly are getting some of those signals. So what does that look like? Well, we definitely want to anchor now relative to our swing high. And then we want to come down, let's say, to our absolute low. We'll just kind of take the same model and use the same relative prices. Well, what you can see is that so far this rally has not quite made it to the same retracement levels. We're nowhere near the 61.8. And so far, we're in the midst of a bullish rally because we haven't even seen something like a pivot or a rejection in the price at this time. Additionally, we can talk in percentages. Just like we saw back in March and April, we could say, what does a 12 to 13% rally look like? Well, it looks pretty much like a move up to 61.8. We could talk about maybe 430 as a pretty key level for the S&P, because it did mark a double top area for a previous range, along with the idea that the market rejected here relative to some other prices that were set on the bullish relief rally back in March. So this area of the market, this retracement target, might be something to keep an eye on. And during the time that we're moving towards these levels, you may want to be a bit cautious on putting up too much bearish positioning. Obviously, you want to see a price level to trade against. Additionally, you want to see the market sort of run out of its momentum. And that would, of course, be if you're looking for another leg lower or just a short-term trade back to lower prices, not necessarily going for a new swing low in the S&P. So these are all some ideas to think about. And what I want to caution against is more or less what happened during the relief rally. If you take a look here, whenever the relief rally started, we got a market that simply made higher highs and higher lows for an extended period of time. This was 5 days of pretty much acceptance. We got a small pivot here. This was a short-term pullback. And then we got another 4 to 5 days of higher highs and higher lows. So being a bear during that time frame was essentially fighting a trend. It just wasn't necessarily the daily trend. It was a shorter term trend, something like a 4-hour or something more indicative of a lot of relief rally and short covering in the market. Not out of the question to think that that can't occur again, especially since we are once again in some shorter term uptrends. And depending on how you look at it, we're actually technically in a daily uptrend, because we do have a daily higher low that was set last week. We also have a breach of our daily swing highs. This, of course, is indicative of the bearish channel breaking bullish. So all of these notes for the rest of the week. There are some concepts that we might want to keep reviewing in regards to, should I be looking for another sell swing? Is the market giving me sort of the indication that this may last a bit longer than what we've seen previously? Or, is it going to repeat once again? And will the sell swing into bear territory be a bit more sharp this time around? A few things we could start to look at. The dollar. Dollar is probably one of the more obvious ones, because the dollar has been a sort of safety trade over the past couple of months. Markets have been positioning into the dollar, whether it be international or domestic markets. We've seen a lot of just relative dollar strength, and a lot of currency pairs have actually suffered relative to this pricing. What you'll notice is last week, and especially starting the week prior, we did get some topping action in the US dollar. We actually broke trend if you're looking at sell swings being closed below. And that's simply indicative that this momentum is probably stalling out for a short period of time. Bit of an overextension on the weekly as well. Just looking for the dollar to maybe come into price levels where it tends to have relative support if it is going to continue its weekly uptrend. And just keep in mind that this can trade sideways for a while the market is also a bit choppy. So if we're just looking at pure dollar correlation to the S&P, you'll note that once the dollar broke its uptrend on the daily, that would be conceptually where the market started to bottom. So whatever day this is, let's call it May 20th, and we look back at the S&Ps, May 20th is our current fear low, or absolute low, that we're going to be referencing for the time being. So obviously the May 20th low is what I'll start to refer to more often than not. And that is when the dollar broke trend. We can also talk in what we normally discuss, which is volatility. Did volatility come off sharply on that May 20th session? kind of arguable whether that occurred. Volatility wasn't necessarily extremely elevated, but we were seeing price levels that are referred to as inflection points or relative resistance in regards to maybe a 36 print in the VIX. Now, seeing this is short-term bullish. Obviously volatility coming off can be a signal for more bullish behavior. Doesn't mean that the rally won't have stall points and won't have moments of sharp downdraft. Absolutely not. One thing I will be keeping an eye on, however, is whether we go back into a period of volatility contango, or are we shifting back into backwardation? And this is where you're simply tracking active contracts or short-term volatility. You're looking at maybe the June and July relative to, June and July. You always want to look at ones with volume. And you're noticing that so far we're still in contango, so this market is normalized. But if we look out a little bit further, the July and August ones don't have that much of a spread. We're talking about 30 cents overall at this point in time. If those start to flip again, that can easily lead the market into another volatile period, which isn't necessarily a direct bearish play, but it can lead to some pretty wild sell swings in the short-term trade. Usually what I like to see during those times is a previous volatile range that are more likely to respond once again. And there is a volatile area of the market that was historically made in this period. And if we move it out, we can see that this is pretty much in line with another range that formed on the downtrend. So, short term, what I'm thinking here, this rally obviously let it kind of stall itself out. We're looking optimistically. We're looking maybe at 430 as a possible rally target. And that would bring us in line with the SPX expected move on the week, a little bit higher than the 42.58 that we just saw. If we're looking a bit more bearish, then we probably want to see the rejection form a little sooner. And that would be a rejection of this lower bound range that broke and led to our sort of final sell swing area of the market. So some concepts and ideas to think about for the week. We're looking for those signals, and in the short term, just understand you're in the midst of a bullish rally. There will be pullbacks along the way. The question is, how aggressively will those pullbacks be bought? And will we continue to see higher highs before, obviously stalling out on the rally? Some other things to focus on today, crude. It's worth mentioning that crude is making new relative highs compared to, I'll just call it the early April sessions. So we're getting sort of a break of a lower high, one that stabilized the price and sort of set up our choppy price action in crude. What was working for a period of time in crude was a bullish channel. So there were days when it made sense to maybe think bull in the crude markets or just in energy stocks. There were days maybe to be a bit more cautious as we were ejecting from a swing high. This was more keeping the short-term trade in our favor. You could obviously think more bullish here and then more bearish here as we just cycled back and forth. What you'll notice, though, is that's no longer true. We have a breach of that channel. It was a bullish channel. And we have a new trend line formed on the higher low swing that set up the break that we're currently getting. So our structure now is definitely one of a bullish uptrend as opposed to the channel structure, which is guiding us short term. And as we can see, as we're getting higher in this price, we'll want to kind of follow where this market tends to be bought. You'll notice that the hourly uptrend tends to pull back to the 20 before seeing new extensions. So definitely want to have energy on watch today. The question is, did it move a little too far in its extension? Is this the right time to think bull? If we're just looking at XLE, it's definitely printing some new relative highs this morning. Very strong close last week. And then, depending on what stock you're looking at, there's a lot of key stocks in play, whether you're watching Oxy, some of the stronger holdings in XLE, so Chevron and Exxon, both about 22% of the XLE market cap weighting. And you can be looking at just names that are a bit more volatile, something like a Schlumberger, SLB, making new relative highs last week, MRO. These are percentage movements, going to be a bit more volatile, and therefore, as an intraday trader, maybe a bit more advantageous. So no matter which way you look at it, there's obviously sort of a bullish lean in the market. And the question is it the right day, the right time frame to be bullish? Or is this more just a swing setup that is basically firing to new relative highs? So just keep that in mind. Be a little cautious on these names. As great as they are to the top side, the bearish days or the days where they do pivot tend to be just as advantageous as a bear. Obviously we haven't seen any rejection at this point, so it's purely speculating whether we'll see any sort of resistance up here. So those are some things to focus on today. Last but not least, the meme stocks. Now, pretty much anytime we refer to meme stocks, there's usually some sort of, I would say, stir in the market, some sort of trigger that allows for certain names to perform a little bit better. And last week, we certainly got a bit of focus returning back to what has been a stock in focus for the past year and a half, and that's, of course, Gamestop. Now, Gamestop does have earnings this week, so there will be some option-related trade relative to the weekly series on Gamestop. You may want to take a look at that and start to put together some thesis ideas. But additionally, if you're looking across other names that might perform, we are getting some short-term rallies forming from last week. The likes of AMC is one that I tend to focus on. That one's up about 40% over the past couple of days, just off of that inflection. We also have a couple of names that are catalyst driven. Won't necessarily call these meme stocks. They just have a bit of news cycle and, of course, volatility baked into momentum trading going on in their price. So stock like SIGA, which was called out a week prior whenever some of the sort of the virulent news that's starting to come out. This obviously was in play for a few days. We saw a bit of a parabolic top get set. And then, of course, that oversold coming into, some hourly support off the 200 and then a very sharp rally on Friday. Obviously, still stocks in play, maybe worth having on your watch list and putting together some key levels that you may want to keep on watch. So what I like about this type of market is what you'll notice is there's really not this sense of all bull, all bear. In a bullish rally against a bearish downtrend, something like a weekly bounce in the S&P, there's very likely to be back and forth trade. And that's kind of the idea behind where we've come from and how sharp this rally is. In the time that the rally is forming, we can maybe be cautious of a bit of a bullish drift, coming into levels that make sense to reject, something like the 20 on the weekly, looking for weekly rejection, something a little bit stronger than a day of downside. But short term, definitely expecting certain days to be stronger, certain days to be weaker, and of course, trying to avoid some of the chop. If we get into that volatile range that I called out between about 430 and 415 in the S&P, just be on the lookout for that type of trade activity, simply because that's what the market did back in time. We had a day up, we had a strong day down, we had a bounce, strong day up, strong day down. It happened here too. bearish session, look like we're heading lower, gap up open, testing a high. Strong intraday session, sort of inside the range, bearish session from the high. Bearish session at the low, start of the bullish rally. So it's very choppy in here. You have to kind of remove expectation when you're in a volatile range such as that. And what you're looking for is just let the intraday trade kind of form and disregard a lot of the higher time frame levels until you get a breach. Usually they don't play as well inside of a volatile trading range such as what we might be getting into short term. So keep all that in mind for the week. As you can see, there's plenty to watch, plenty to focus on. It'll be kind of challenging to see what should we focus on the closest, but there's lots of news coming out of China relative to their markets and their sort of lockdown conditions. We still have interest rates in focus. Obviously, keep those in mind today. They are sharply gapping up in the 10-year and the 30-year. And then, watch the dollar, watch volatility, keep all of your tools and your tool belt sharp, and just position around this type of trade as we sort of get into a range that we've seen before, a range that the market has set levels in. So with all that said, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. Hopefully y'all can all trade safe this week. Just reminder, it is a shorter week, expected move about 100 points. And we'll look at some of the news coming up this week to see what sort of catalysts we can trade around. So with all that said, stay tuned for pre-market prep, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible long holiday weekend. So welcome back here. So we get started for another week of trading. Let's give a thumbs up, guys, over to Jared for, again, just engineering the markets every single Monday through Thursday. He doesn't do it on Fridays, but let's give him a big thumbs up. We appreciate his info very much. All right, guys, hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully had a very restful and enjoyable weekend. Let's get into what we have on our list today, guys. So quick look at our gappers list so far this morning. Some stuff doing pretty well in the green, although the SPY is down a little over of a percent here. So again, a little down action this morning, but still after an incredible rally all last week, right? And we've seen some good action there, getting above some numbers. So seeing some signs of positive stuff happening there in the overall market. So we are happy about that. Let's see if that's going to continue. Cannot wait to see how. I know it's a short week, so things are going to be a little bit funky, but cannot wait to see how this week is going to end. I know we just started. I cannot wait to see how things are going to end this week for the overall market. I think it'll be not an important week, but I think it'll say a lot of what's going on, what's going to be happening here in the next coming months, really. So Jared spoke a little bit about that. We'll get into some of that as well today. That is our gappers list there. We will start with, oh, here it is. My man, how you doing today? Good morning.
What's up, brother? I'm good. How are you doing? Sorry, I had to run and grab something real quick.
No worries at all, man. Doing good, doing good. I hope you had a great weekend.
Yeah, man.
You enjoyed yourself and had some downtime.
Yeah, likewise. Great time. Out by the pool, just hanging out. Did some sailing. That's about it.
Nice.
Can't ask for any more. How about you?
You cannot definitely ask for any more. You know what? After traveling last week at Vancouver, I just took it easy, did some yard work, and just enjoyed the backyard with the kids, man. That was
Uh,
enough to get me in some good spirits.
for sure.
All right, guys, let's get to it. Hopefully, as you mentioned, hopefully you guys also had a great time. I know who had a great time was the meetup we had on Vancouver on Friday night. So if you guys have not seen those pictures, they're over on our Twitter at Bareboot Traders. Just go ahead and follow those. I think I'll bring one up later. I have one here, so we'll bring that shot up later. All right, guys, let's get to it. Our list this morning. Let's actually before we do this, no, we're talking about the SPY a little bit, right? We're down almost a little bit more half a percent here. But a lot of stuff in the green today. So let's get into the market pulse and kind of see what's going on there.
Yeah, down 0.75% right now. Testing the morning lows. We'll see. We had our first up week in like 8 weeks, I think. So,
Yeah.
yeah, market's just trying to digest that and see what's going on. And it was a pretty sizable move to the upside, but we hit the 9 on the daily. Excuse me, the 9 on the weekly, and we'll see if that becomes resistance here. Who knows, man? People are a little freaked out, rightly so. It's just been a steady
Yeah.
glide down the hill. So today, 9 o'clock, we've got some home price indices coming out. Chicago PMI 945, consumer confidence 10 a.m. Inflation news going on, oil news going on. Oil's up this morning on the EU, Russian oil embargo stuff. Just all over the place. A lot of Chinese stocks up this morning, some Bitcoin miners and stuff because they're talking about acquisitions. We'll get into all that as we get through the list.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. All right, perfect. Let's jump into it, guys. Our list here is already nice and clean, our watch list. Let's jump into what's on our gap up list this morning. Quite a bit on here. I see some names that we've been looking at quite a bit towards the downside. Neo Coin, XBF Baba,
Towards the
Futu,
upside.
Oxy, towards the upside, excuse me. Yeah, towards the upside on the lower side of the list, right? That's what I meant. Yeah, but towards the upside
Yeah.
here. So a couple of names here that we are very familiar with, and then some other ones that we haven't seen in some time. I would say Texas Medical, but no, that's not that. That's TXMD. So the
It's a
therapeutic
buyout.
company here. Yeah, it looks horrible. Yeah, no good. So we'll skip on that one, guys. Again, they're up 344%. Once you start looking at the details here, it's nothing good happening there. INDO this morning. This one has been on our list more often than I would like. I mean, it doesn't trade well. I mean, you have a couple of pops here where it does something. I am not a big fan of this. And this morning, again, I know their potential to go to 20 and to 25. You just gotta be so careful. The float on this, guys, is 2 million shares float.
Low float.
You know,
Yeah, 2 million
so
low float. They
so
had
very very low.
they had an oil discovery. That's why they're popping this morning. So
Okay, you know what? That's significant news. So that's a nice positive catalyst to have when you have a float like this. But guys, cannot stress enough how careful you have to be on this one. Just this morning alone, our range here is $16 up to 20 is the high of the pre-market. We're down back at 18. So you can see how much movement we're getting here with only 415,000. It is sitting on the American Stock Exchange, which you have to be a little bit careful with stuff on the American Stock Exchange, just because I think they trade very different, the price action wise. AMC this morning looking pretty good, up 12%, 6.5. Norm, what's the latest and greatest?
Top Gun. Top Gun set records this weekend. So
Yeah.
it's up. A lot of these, I think a couple of the others, Para was up as well, just on news of that happening and
Yeah.
people going back to movie theaters.
I agree. I mean, that might be the one that I'll have to go watch in the theater because everybody's raving about it. A couple of my friends went and saw it, and they say it's just unbelievable. So definitely one that's going to bring people out. Doing pretty good right now, up 12.1, 6.5. Definitely in play.
Our
Must have on
friend
the list today.
Art, longtime member, she's
Yeah.
telling us AMC CEO is currently speaking on CNBC as well. So that might add to some
Taking
moves.
advantage of the situation.
Oh,
Very good
yeah.
for him. Very good for him. Maybe we'll be at 50 sometime today if if things get going.
I think one thing I didn't mention at the top, I think we're going to seem we are. I'm pretty confident to say we are going to have some meme action this week.
Yeah.
AMC's up this morning. GameStop reports later this week. What, on Wednesday, I think, off the top of my head. Let me look. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Is it there? Yep, Wednesday. GameStop reports earnings tomorrow. You can look at Trading Terminal right there. Yeah, so we'll get some meme action this week.
Yep, I agree with that. And Jared did mention that as well earlier also. So we'll see what's happening there. All right, cool, guys. Let's get to it. So AMC's on our deck. Their BGXX, no good, guys. There's just nothing happening here. Heading down to BEKE for the most part. This one is showing some good action today. Up 10%. Almost 78,000 here. So that's looking pretty good. I think worth taking a look
they
at.
had earnings this morning.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good. That's
and
good.
then
China
China's up overall. You see a ton of
yeah.
Becky, EDU, Billy,
Mm-hmm.
PDD, JD, Baidu, Lee, Neo, XPEV, Baba, Futu, like the whole damn list. Yeah,
I agree. They are all here, my friends. So again, a lot of Chinese stocks doing pretty well,
God,
pretty good
Becky.
this morning. So Becky here, guys, looking decent today. We'll add them on our list. EDU, I'm not a big fan of. They're up today. I'd rather look at other Chinese stocks. This is not a good one, guys. I mean, it's just weird. Billy's up nice 7.3. It doesn't look good pre-market, but I do like Billy. I know they can trade very well. I'm familiar with their price action, so I more often than not will add them on my list, even if they don't look great. I think they can be a decent one at times. We got some Bitcoin stuff here. We got Mara Riot. I also saw Coin down here as well. Coin seems to be the best looking one out of all of these. They're up 5.5, 369,000. And they're trading, if you look at their pre-market activity compared to Mara, at least, it looks much better, much better in my opinion. So I'm going to keep Coin. We'll keep Coin on deck.
These are all up on rumors or people thinking that there might be some consolidation in this industry with prices down as much as they've gone and getting some stability in crypto. At least in the short term recently, we've had we've had Bitcoin holding here in the high 20s, low 30s. So people are thinking some people out there might be thinking of acquiring others. Little pops there.
Okay, that's good positive stuff for them. Yeah, I like Coin. I like Coin this morning. And again, you got to be careful with this one. It can move very aggressively, as you know. Spread right now, not great, 26 cents. Hopefully that gets better. But if it does, it won't be by much. So just be very, very careful with that spread when you're taking a trade. All right, so more Chinese stocks here. We have JD. We have, as we mentioned, Neo, XPEL, a whole bunch of these here this morning. Here's JD, up 6.3, 388,000. It's okay. It's okay. I like the pop. I don't like the daily as much, but I do like the pop they're getting today. We'll take a look there. PDD was great on a Friday, guys. This was real nice. Traded very well, very clean, and we knew that they had a nice gap above this level here on 43, and again, they're just very strong. So today they're up another 6%, 638,000. And again, gapping up strong above some daily levels as well. So this could be interesting today. Normally, we don't keep this one on the list, but today's looking pretty good after just crushing it on a Friday. Here's UL. This is Unilever, and they are just horrible. they're
No, no,
not
no.
foreign, right? But
Yes, they're foreign.
they are foreign. Okay, because I know their
Yeah.
headquarters is up, a couple of towns away from me here. But man, they
U.S.
are
headquarters is a couple of towns
right.
away, but they are based in the UK, and
Gotcha,
yeah, it
gotcha.
trades like garbage.
Oh man, it is
It's a
brutal. Look at this
massive
here.
float,
Yeah,
massive float. Boring products
yeah.
generally don't trade well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you look at their headquarters here, it's so big, and that's only the U.S. headquarters. I mean, it is huge. It looks like their main headquarters. But UL guys, it's just not good. I'm gonna skip on that one. Baidu here this morning, also not looking great. We're up 6%, 150. I like the pop. I wish there was more volume to this. I don't know, man. Does this smell like a sell-off on the Chinese stocks that are all gapping up today? What's Baba doing? No, it's not gapping up enough for me. Bob would have been a good one,
It's
but I
up
don't know.
3.8%,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
4%.
Yep, yep. Yeah, and I don't know, man. I like this one today.
But
When
it's one of the lower of the Chinese gappers this morning. So
yeah, yeah. But I'm gonna add this one. I like this one better than Baidu and some other ones I'm seeing up here. All right, just two more here. Let's look at Neo and we'll look at Oxy because Oxy can be a lot of fun. Neo this morning. Okay, I love this volume, guys. 1.9 million. We're up 5%. On Neo, I think Neo will be a good one today to keep an eye on. And then we'll look at Oxy. We'll see what's on our gap down list after this. Oxy at the moment up 3.2, 337,000. Continues to just take off here, man. This thing is making new highs. Didn't hang around long here in this new range that it created, right? Didn't spend a lot of time in here like it did prior months, right? Spent a whole 3 months almost in here. That's looking interesting. Oxy is definitely definitely in play, man. Definitely in play. A nice pop there for them. All right, let's take a look here on what's gapping down. Starting with FRO down 13.5 from a nice. Well, man, this doesn't look good. What is this? So last couple of days we went from 9 to
yeah,
11.
this is
What's
this
up?
is
Yeah,
a oil and gas transport company based out of
hmm
Bermuda, oil shipping. Um, there's some weird deal, private acquisition of Euro exchange for frontline shares completed. I don't know if that has something. This trades like garbage. I didn't dig a whole lot into this. I know uh, the oil deal, the EU that I mentioned already on Russia might
yeah.
impact them to some degree. There's some other things going on, but it trades terribly. So
Yeah, I don't like this at all. Let's move down, guys. Siga. So Siga does have some news. I know Jai was mentioning this earlier. It is moving like crazy though. Look at this, down 10% now,
mhm.
2.4 million. What's the float on this? It's 41, but man, this is low flow status right
Yeah,
now, the way this thing is trading.
it trades
Very,
like a
very
low
risky.
float.
Yeah, so I'm gonna add it here next to Indo. Definitely in play, definitely very active. Nice pre-market activity. You do have shares for sure, but again, just careful, guys, on this one. Let's look at GOGL. This I call this the fake Google, Golden
The fake
Ocean,
Google,
the fake
same
Google.
same same
Yeah,
situation here as Fro.
a fraud. Yeah,
Just
yeah, I figure. So
this is shipping. This is dry shipping, but I think they also some commodities and stuff. But it's based in Bermuda. It trades not great. So
yeah, we'll skip on that one, guys. AEO, we looked at this one before as well. Again, it doesn't trade very well. So I tend to skip it. I'm going to do the same today. I don't see anything overly exciting on this. Heading down to SNY. What's this again? And this is an ETF. What is this?
Sanofi, drug manufacturer
Oh,
out of
okay. Yeah.
France, trades like garbage as well.
Oh yeah, very very bad. RDBX Redbox. No, not looking good today. We got some airlines here. United and American Airlines coming up. They are both down 2.7. American Airlines down 2.3. Any news on these, Norm, or it's just overall kind of market
What's
stuff on
that?
there? Airlines just coming up on their
These
gappers
just
list.
started popping up.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen anything. I don't know if there's something, some news that just came out. I haven't seen anything personally. Maybe somebody else has an idea.
Yeah. We'll keep them on here for now. We'll see what's happening. Them a lot of them, these two at least, these two big ones gapping down, which is rare to see them do that out of nowhere. So maybe something's brewing in the airlines travel sector there. So we'll keep those two for now. We'll come back and look at them a little bit later. Let's head on over to you, Norm. What do you have this morning?
I'm still looking. Coming off a holiday weekend, heading into the summer. Noted that it's usually a little bit of a quieter trading period. We had the up day last week, first one in 7 or 8 weeks, as I mentioned. I kind of want to see how things go in the next 45 minutes before the market opens. What we're going to do here before I start really getting my list together. So I'm still looking
Yeah.
around. We've got a decent number of things to choose from on here, though.
Yeah, we're doing some of them looking pretty decent as well. So yeah, not a bad start for as you mentioned, holiday week coming back into trading. Not bad at all. All right, let's take it over to the chat room. We'll start with JRS. Oh, you're giving us AMC. Yep, that's good. That's definitely on our list. In play, 10%, 7.3. And as we mentioned, Art mentioned earlier, the CEO on CNBC. Not sure if he's still on, but that's happening there. Delta Airlines, again, American, United, Delta, they're both, all three of these guys moving down slightly. American and United are usually going to get the best volume. So that's why I have those two on a secondary list there. And we'll tune into that before we when we're fine tuning our list. Apple, Apple, of course. I mean, we have 1 million shares traded right now. We're down almost a little bit over 0.5%. Definitely an interesting one this morning. I'm going to put them as the top possible. I like what I have up here. I mean, will I replace coin with Apple? Most probably. So let's just put Apple there for now. Good to watch. Always has been a nice one. AMD from Daniel. Let's see what's happening there. AMD this morning down 0.5%. Again, all of these doing very well the last couple of days here, putting in some nice numbers, especially on Thursday. Look at AMD going from 91 to 98, hitting 100. Following day on Friday, hitting that 102, and today's kind of we're pretty much flat at the moment,
So I will say, see, that's a wonderful part of being in a community. Sometimes you don't see things. I intentionally tried to stay away from news this weekend.
Yeah.
Dan F in the room telling me U.S. Airlines canceled 2,500 flights over the Memorial Holiday weekend.
Wow.
Mitchell on YouTube, airlines canceling flights due to COVID and staffing issues. Ben with us every morning on YouTube. A lot of flight cancellations over the holiday weekend. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys.
There it is. So again, not looking good for airlines with those cancellations there. So all right, with that said, let's see what else we have. We have both of those on there, which again, they're getting good volume right now. So let's see. Well, not great, but good. All right, let's heading on down. We have Apple and AMD. That's good. Jason, you're giving us a few there. I think we have all of these on our list, so we're checked off there. Neo and Apple are good. Yeah, we have those. Good. You guys are giving us the same thing we have, so we are set. Let's take a quick look over on our YouTube chat over there, guys. Good morning. Let's see what you guys have today. TQQQ. Yeah, that's ETFs. You can always when you think about ETFs, the SPY, the Qs, you can always have those on the list. I don't put them on my list, but we're very much aware of them, right? If the market is trending in one direction, you can look at these and possibly take an opportunity, take a trade, based on the direction that is heavily moving in. So I won't add those to the list, indigenous pathways, but we're always having those in mind, right? So no worries there. CHPT, that's ChargePoint, right? ChargePoint. Whatever happened to this here? Today they're up 1.1, 153. A couple of nice days. The last two trading days, a lot of stuff did well. They're not looking this good this morning, though. Any news? What do you put on there? On earnings news. Earnings when? Not looking so hot on earnings today. It's post-market. So, yeah. So tomorrow, Drago, tomorrow will be where this thing probably might get going. Today, you might not see a whole lot of fun stuff on that. The levels on coin and Becky are great. Yep, we'll check those out in a second. Sweaty fingers. AMC, we have that. That's good. CHPT, we know, again, probably tomorrow. Okay, I think we're set, guys. Let's head over to, someone mentioned J&J. I just saw that. Where is that? J&J, what's going on there? J&J, no, not really in play. No, this is no there. No. All right, guys, let's get over to our, it's a little bit early, but it's okay. We'll get over to our community events and announcements, and we'll go from there.
All right. It is the first day of the week, so a little quick weekly rundown. Carlos, you doing the onboarding session tonight, brother?
That is right. Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, guys.
So 7 p.m. Eastern, Carlos will be doing onboarding. That's in the classroom, open to everyone, even if you're on a trial membership, which we'll talk about in a moment. No tech class tonight, so that we'll have that next week. We'll get into that in a moment. Trade reviews with Eamon at noon on Tuesday and Thursday. Success webinars Tuesday night. Psychology Wednesday night. And then you've got mentoring 3 different times throughout the day on Thursday. There's that onboarding session I was talking about. Everybody is able to get into that, so check out. That is the makeup for that is tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next week, the tech webinar will be Kyle. Actually, the next 2 weeks, starting next Monday, is going to be about Bookmap. So check that out, 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. Excuse me, man. 3 days, and my brain has gone to mush. Mondays, not Wednesday. Then tonight for strategy, you're going to have Eamon talking about trend trading. That's at 5 p.m. Note the special time, since that's very late for him. And then 8 p.m. next week, back at the normal time, Peter talking about the Rising Devil and Fallen Angel strategies. Psychology, tomorrow night, Dr. Kenneth Reed talking about trader development. Will I ever get there? And then Creda next week, 5 p.m., talking about the art of setting goals. Got mentorship on Thursday at 11, 4, and 8. Don't forget about stocktradingsimulator.com, our free web-based trading simulator. You can check it out and sign up. It's free. You don't have to pay anything, and you'll get a couple of homework assignments a week in your email. And really, those just direct you to times of day and tickers to look at, help you. It makes it a little bit easier to find where to practice. And as I mentioned, the intro membership, it is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. Use a promo code PreMarket24 to get a discount off of that. It does not auto-renew, so check that out.
All right. Thank you, Norm, for that.
Just a reminder to hit that thumbs up on YouTube. Really helps us out. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you have not already. It'll let you know when we go live every morning.
Absolutely. Thank you, Norm. Guys, let's get to it. Yeah, guys, let's get those likes up. 109. We'd love to be at 250 if we can. 400 of our friends watching on YouTube. We appreciate that. All right, guys, we got a little bit of time, so let's take a quick look at the meetup from Friday. So here's a picture from Artie's Twitter account. I'll put the link of Artie's Twitter right on there on YouTube, and I'll put that in our chat in just a second. Make sure you follow him. You know, a lot of good information he's putting out there alongside the shows that he's doing live almost every week, right? Tuesdays through Thursday. So also make sure you follow us on YouTube if you're not. So here it is, guys. I mean, nice group there. You can see Brian, you can see Artie, Andrew, and a couple of our friends there, a couple of the people that was able to join them on Friday night. So these guys look like they had a great time. So, and we have some meetups coming up, which we'll be talking about in the near future. We'll be probably announcing them starting tomorrow. But we got a couple of meetups coming up. So Andrew's going to be doing a little moving around and meeting with some people. So New York is included, Austin is included. So I have to go top of my list. I don't have the head on me, but a couple of places he's going to be going down. Toronto is in there. Norway is in there as well. He has states already set up. So looking forward to seeing you guys on those meetups and seeing pictures. Okay, let's get to it. Our list this morning, we have quite a bit of stuff on here. I'm just moving some stuff around to prepare for this watch list. Florida, yes, Florida is on deck, DJ. So Florida is there as well. Let's take a look here. We have AMC looking very nice, guys. Probably the best pre-market activity in our list this morning. Becky is on here as well, so that's looking decent. I like the pop we're getting today, up 10%, and they have news. Coin, I mean, I'm not a big fan of some of the coin stocks, but this one looking very good this morning, up 5.2. So we'll see what happens here. Look at the consolidation we're breaking out of. We broke out of it on Friday. So let's see if we're getting some continuation there. And as we mentioned, some positive news Norm mentioned earlier today as well. PDD had a crush, just a bang up day on Friday, guys. So let's see if that momentum can continue. Hard to keep this kind of momentum, right? Look at on Thursday, did very well there. Look at Friday, it's just incredible. And today, we're getting a little bit extended here, but again, just moving very well. Okay volume so far. Baba is up, and again, usually when Baba gaps up like this, I been shorting it and doing very well on this one. Again, I'm not saying that's going to happen today, but I will be looking for a short on Baba at some point in the morning. Here is Neo. Neo also popping up pretty nice, looking good. And we have Oxy. So all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one too many are looking pretty good. We are ahead of schedule here this morning, so we can do levels for all 7, and then we can take a look at our secondary list here, see if anything's popping up that we like. We definitely like Apple this morning. Did we look at AMD? Someone mentioned AMD. I don't think I put it on my list though. Let's take a look here. AMD, yeah, I know it's going to get better. It's not looking, too hot right now. I know it's going to get better, so we'll put it as a possible. Let's do that. Let's put a possible for AMD. I know I'm probably going to move Apple up as well. I think it's a good one to watch with 1 million shares traded. I think it's worth being on the main list. So, all right, let's take a look here, guys. So levels, we have AMD, we have 1664 high of the pre-market. Price action right now, where the price is sitting at right there, 1582. Definitely a level of resistance. You want to have that on there. The support is not quite at the previous day close. That would have been great. I mean, the previous day close is an area you want to have as well. Keep that on there. But you do have slightly up here. Some of the wicks are slamming around 1473. So I'm going to put a level right on there. You got at least 1, 2, and 3 right on that 1473. So that is worth marking down. Obviously, 15 is going to be an area of interest. Be on the lookout for that. And I also have a midpoint here, which is 1518. Because outside of the wicks, right, especially on these days here, outside of the wicks hitting that 1473, they're also opening, closing right around this 18. So at some point, that was the previous day close for some of these. I think it's worth noting that on there. I think it's a good area to have on deck. And if you're looking at the pre-market, you're seeing a little bit of action around that 1518 as well this morning. So that's pretty good. And also, as we mentioned, that 1582, great level on the daily towards the top side of resistance right here. You can see how much it struggled to stay above that as it was doing your ping pong action between here. You want to have that on. You can see that this morning. That's playing very, very nice in the pre-market so far already. Have the pre-market 1665. Let's continue to head up here in case we do have a nice rally day. Again, a lot of this happening because of the volume of people in theaters with Top Gun. Right, Top Gun has been a big hit. Great reviews on it, and people are flocking to the theaters again. 1750, good one there as well. So you got a couple of days using that as support. And then, of course, 1855, the top side of this back and forth action there. So you're pretty good here, guys, on the top side. Towards the bottom, previous day close, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. I would like a level between high of the pre-market now. I'm sorry, low, the 1460 and 13, which is here. I don't see anything that's significant. Maybe 1350. Maybe 1350. Not a whole lot of weight on that one, guys. I mean, I only have really 2 days are using that as support and resistance there. So again, not too much weight, but I would like to have something in between there. All right, here's Becky. Becky, at the most part, we are getting a little bit of a pop here. We're getting some good support towards the bottom, up 9%. Pre-market action, I wish it would be cleaner, but Becky's pre-market action is not great. It does get better, though. I've seen that it does get better, so that's going to be a good one on there as well. I see some people asking whether it's going to be Miami or Jacksonville. Abby is actually going to be putting up some forum posts today and tomorrow, so he'll give you the exact detail, guys, of time and date. So, but be on the lookout for that. It's going to be very exciting. These getting back to these meetups are definitely a good thing. 1274 high of the pre-market, 1275 to be exact. Definitely a level here. 1348. Look at the daily here. It gets really nasty in this area there. Here it gets a much better. But again, the daily is just all over the place on Becky. And if you look back, it doesn't get any better. You got a couple of days where it does very well. You see here on the daily how nice that looks. And then it just goes into like this choppy situation. And for the most part, those are the days that it trades very well. And you guys are able to capitalize on this. So hopefully today's one of those days. Is looking decent as far as volume in the gap up this morning. We have 1442, another daily level here as well. You can see a couple of days opening, closing right around that area. And then one more towards the top. The next best level I see on the upside is going to be 1529. So that's a good one there as well. Towards the bottom, plenty of stuff, guys. Highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. I don't think you need to add anything else. There is something right on here, at least as support, 1220. So 1220, tons of support happening here on these couple of days there. Again, not the best daily, guys. It's really all over the place. Gapping up, selling down, gapping up, selling down. I mean, it loves to gap up and sell down this thing here. Here's another one as well. So we'll see. Is that another one today? Gapping up and selling down? We'll have to wait and see on this, Becky, this morning. Here's Coin, very active, guys. Probably the best one out of all the Bitcoin type tickers. This one looks pretty decent to me. 80.47 high of the pre-market at the moment. Towards the bottom, I don't think you need to add anything. You're pretty much taken care of here, guys. Highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, which correlate very much with what you've been seeing as support and resistance over a big since the 13 of this month, guys. Look at that. It's just we've been just kind of hanging out here back and forth between that 70 and what is this 60 level. So again, it's stayed here for quite a bit. So you got really strong support towards the bottom there. Towards the top, we have above our pre-market high. We don't have a lot of levels because I know this thing dropped from the heavens here. This thing, if you go back, IPO'd at what was it? Was it 2 something, 3 something? Who knows? So you're bouncing from the all-time lows, as you can see here. Let's get to the weekly. You don't have a whole lot of confirmation as far as more days coming down here and creating more confirmation for you. So here, what you have here is what you'll get today. There's not much more to go off. So again, just keep that in mind. That's the only levels people have if they're looking at the data. They're not going off anything else. So something like this, you know, that 89.44 will be decent. You know, you don't have to put a lot. You don't have to put crazy weight on this, but it's the only level you really have. It's not a great one, but there's nothing else. 100 is going to be another one where obviously you're going to see some action there. And then just the whole dollar numbers on this one is going to be interesting for the most part. Let's take a look at PDD. And we know PDD has been interesting the last 2 trading days. High of the pre-market at the moment, all the way up at 51.87. So we'll slam a level there. And then towards the bottom, we do have 49, all the way down here, actually, 49.33. But I am, you know, yes, this is pre-market low, but we can also mark down this area here because clearly in our pre-market this morning, this 50.84 has seen some pretty good activity. So we're going to mark a level there, 50.84. We're coming down towards that now. Let's see if that's going to act as some good support one more time there. So heading over to our next one, it is, oh, wait, hold on. If we move outside here, we need levels towards the top on PDD. And again, pretty interesting daily. 55.45 is good right on there. Got a couple of days confirming that as well. So that's nice. And then if we were to really rally here, we're going to be looking at, again, I don't think this can happen, especially after such the strong days we've been having the last couple of days. I think it'll just be too extended, but 60.13 is clearly a level on the daily, right? So that looks pretty good there as far as the daily goes. You can get fancy and come in here and look for smaller levels as well. Maybe put some minor weight on that, you know, so a little bit less weight on those levels, but between 60 and 55. But I'm going to keep it just like this for now on PDD. Towards the bottom, highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. Below the previous day close, you do have 45.55. Great area where you're seeing a lot of touches happening there. A lot of resistance happening here as well. Look at the drop that it took off from 45.55. So that could be an area of support if we do drop that way. But right now, looking pretty strong. Here is Baba, guys. Again, bouncing up here. A lot of Chinese stocks doing very well this morning. I think returning back to work type place, right? So here, high of the pre-market 98.50. Towards the bottom, low of the pre-market is going to be at 96.04. And then over here, we're looking at 96.90. So you're pretty much set there. Towards the bottom, a lot of stuff going on here. Previous day close, highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, you're pretty much set there. All right, and then towards the top, again, I'm a little short bias on this at the moment. Hopefully, it does not sell down too much. But we do have a level here, 101.39. So we'll slam something there. And then right up here, we do have, again, not the best, but 103.84 is a good one. Yeah, actually, you do got some more confirmation on 103.84 as well. So you can definitely have that on there. That's good to be on the daily. All right, NEO, 2.1 million shares traded. So this is definitely got some juice this morning. High of the pre-market 17.65, slammed some levels there. And then towards the top, look at how that is projecting here on the daily as well. You gotta have a couple of days using that as resistance there. And then above that, slightly 18.20 is a good one also. That is decent there. Also seeing some touches on the daily when we move to the left. And I'm gonna mark one more. It's getting a little tricky here. 1932 might be actually 20, but if you can see closely here, we got a couple of days using that as support, so that's looking pretty good there. Then towards the bottom, guys, I don't think you need to add anything else. Previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Got all the levels covered towards the bottom there. Here is Oxy, the number 7 stock on our list this morning. Oxy right now, 73.31, high of the pre-market. Again, you can't put too much weight on the Oxy's pre-market action. We've seen that from watching the stock more often than others, right? In the pre-market, we know they don't move up pre-market. They'll get volume, but they'll be pretty sideways, pretty choppy. At the market open, they can put in some really good days. We've seen that over and over again here. Look at these beautiful wide body candles there. Again, just really, really nice. So don't put too much weight on the pre-market activity that you're seeing here. Now, actually breaking out nicely, guys, above 70 all last week. They were green all last week, every day. This Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. Yeah, so all last week they managed to end green. A couple of gap down days and recover, but for the most part, they had an incredible week. If you look at this weekly chart on Oxy here, just look at the breakout, stuck in this massive consolidation. This was the 55 to 65, I believe, broke out here quite a bit, and then now looking really nice. So yeah, Oxy is definitely in play, guys. One to watch for sure. All right, we are all set, guys. That is our watch list this morning. Secondary list. I gotta make room for Apple. Let's just do levels for it, because as I fine tune this into 9:30, I'll look at something up here that I might not like, and Apple will be the one to take that spot very quickly. 132, the low below some of the highs and lows we have here from the last 2 trading days. We're slamming against the previous day close at the moment a couple of times this morning, so that's good. We're in the green very, very early on, sold off. We created a low in the pre-market today of 140, 146. Well, sorry, 148, 90, 90, 60, 148.60, excuse me. So 148.60 is the low of the pre-market today. Again, getting a nice bounce here of this 137, man. Apple at 137. That price, we haven't seen that in a while. Above the previous day close, we do have some levels here, 153, and then over here at 157.20. So pretty decent stuff there. Again, very, very active right now with some really good volume. All right, I think we're set, guys. We're pretty much good to go here. See, our moderators list is coming up, so we'll look at that in a second. Just to recap, we have AMC, beautiful pre-market action. Becky, you got to wait for the market open on this one, but a nice pop this morning. Coin also looking very interesting. PDD, great pop this morning and the last couple of days, doing very well. Baba getting a little bit of a bounce there. Neo is good, beautiful action. And then Oxy, I think I'm gonna, as much as I know Becky can trade very well, the daily's just a little strange. I'm gonna add Apple instead. I'm gonna get rid of Becky. I'd rather have Apple on my main watch list this morning, and then Becky can still be a pretty decent possible, right? So we don't have to get completely rid of it, but it can be a nice possible. It is up 8.8. It can trade very well. I've seen you guys do pretty good stuff on this one. I don't think I ever. No, I have traded Becky. I definitely have traded Becky in the past. All right. So can we do levels for AMD too? Yes, we have a little bit of time. We could do levels for AMD. Let's get to that, Daniel. No problem. So AMD right now. I mean, AMD is in a good spot as far as levels. I mean, you got your highs and lows here taking care of you there. The low of the pre-market is going to be 101.51, right? So we'll slam a level there. That's going to be between the highs and lows there quite a bit. And then towards the top, which I think is what we're really interested in, right? We would love for AMD to continue on this strength we've seen over the last couple of days. 104.22, very clean level there. You, depending on your time frame, right, you can mark down 103. You got 103.25 here. You know, if you're trading like a 1 minute or very short time frame, that can be important for you, right? That 103.25. So that's good there, but definitely 104. 104, what is that? 104.22, definitely a clean level. You can see that there, nice rejection. And if you go to the left here, let's zoom in here around April, March, right in here. You can see that also is being used as resistance on these couple of days there. So that's pretty good there. And then above that, the daily doesn't get too exciting, but 106 is another great area where you have some good support that can now become resistance, right? So that is good for AMD. But some of these levels you already have on there, guys. Highs and lows of the last 2 trading days show amazing support here. So You can see that there, right? Between March, early March, you can see how much support you're getting in this area. The previous day close is marking that for you in today's action. So looking pretty good there on AMD. Good volume, 751, 58 and climbing. So yeah, AMD is definitely top of the list here. I have Apple. I did not look at Nvidia today. It's another one that I like the way it has been trading over the last couple of days. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Pretty similar to what AMD is doing, right? So when I think of Apple, I think of AMD, I think of Nvidia, I think of all those tech type companies that can do very, very well. Is Powell speaking today? I am not sure. I am not sure if he's speaking today, but if he is, we'll find it out very shortly. How might trade after the split? So, any thoughts on how Amazon might trade after the pre-split? What is it? The split, by the way, is it scheduled already? Is it end of the month? Usually, they'd like to do those end of the month. Kind of have a clean month type thing. Oh, the 6th. Okay, so I think you have a lot of volume. People are going to be attracted at the price that's going to be. It's not going to be this massive ticker, right? The ticker price on it. So I think people will be attracted. I think you're going to get volume on it. People that wanted to invest on Amazon and see that, what is it, 2,000, 3,000? What is it now? I don't even know. Yeah, 2,300. So do you see a lower price on Amazon? Psychologically, you think you're getting a deal. You might think, oh, this is easy for me to get in and get some positions on. It's the same thing, right? But overall, I think you'll see some increase in volume. As far as how it's going to trade, I don't think it's going to change the way it trades, though. Maybe for a couple of days, you see just a ramp in action. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Hey, imagine Amazon becoming like an Nvidia type trading stock or Apple. Man, that'd be great. But I don't think you're going to get that. It's just so massive. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, 9:13. One more question here. What are your most used strategies you're using right now? Open range breakup and breakdown. That is my number one, man. And I'm not sure if Norm's on or he's doing some things there, but he likes to see the breakouts a lot. If you look at Norm's trading, he'll do some breakouts. He'll do some really early on pops. He loves when things sell off like an apple and then starts shooting up. He loves jumping in on those for a quick scalp. So that's it. That's his strategy. Just kind of scalping into strength. All right. What else we have? We are good. When is Toronto meetup? I think it's in June. Again, we'll get you the numbers up once I have the post. We'll get you those numbers up. But yeah, be prepared, guys. We got a couple of great meetups coming up in June and into July. So it's all going to be June and July, right? Plan for those as soon as we put those out there. All right, excellent. Let's take a look at our moderators lineup. Let's bring this over. As I'm doing this, guys, over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it very much. Also, keep in mind, today's Tuesday, not Monday. So we will be going live with the closing bell Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So make sure to follow us on the YouTube. If you're not subscribed already, hit that notifications bell so you can get notified, I think, 30 minutes before when we are going to go live. It's Artie and Andrew live this week. So definitely keep that in mind. One more question here, Carlos. Can you say the market doesn't support open range, or you have to wait? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I think the overall market, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So it's hard to answer that question. It's very, very different every time. It's very different. I think it's 6 one way, 6 the other, to be honest. So to split hairs there could be very, very difficult, man. That's just my opinion. The market, we've seen it hold support and we've seen it rip right through it, at the open. So it's one of those things where you have to kind of see what's happening and make the best decision with the information that's being printed at the time, right? So very hard to tell you one way or the other without, specifically looking for that information and tracking it, day by day and seeing, okay, it moves this way more than the other way, right? So very difficult to answer that one. If anyone can answer that one, probably would be Jared. You want to ask that on Jared, engineering the markets, maybe see his opinion or something like that. Guys, here's the moderators watch list this morning. Thor, we'll start with him. He's looking at, hold on, let me make sure I did not miss anyone to the top. Nope, we're good. So Thor is looking at Apple, AMD, SPY, AMC, a secondary list, Baba, and the pivot alerts bot. Also, whatever they throw out this morning. Mike is looking at AMD, Apple, and Baba. Dima looking at PDD, Baba, AMD, and Apple. Tiffany likes Apple and Baba this morning, both in play, guys. Really good. Meg is looking at Apple, AMD, and Macy's. Peter will be Peter's IPO for today. SVR. Do we have a countdown? So SVRE has been moved, I think, for the 8th day in a row on when it's going to IPO. So let's see what happens today. Peter's actual watch list: AMD, Apple, and Neo. Secondary list: AMC, Sega, and Baba. Jared will be looking at AMC and GameStop this morning, alongside a couple of energy plays as well. Brian looking at AMC. A swing from Friday. Very nice, man. Good call on that. Excellent. Guys, you can follow Brian's swing trading, Bear with Traders. Go to the education tab on the menu and then scroll down all the way to the bottom. You're going to see in Brian's swing trading alerts, completely free. But again, just don't blindly follow him. Get the book. He has a book out, How to Swing Trade on Amazon. The link is on that page as well. Get the book and understand what's happening. SIGA and also KWeb so far for Brian as he prepares this list, and he's ready to trade with us live this morning. Guys, over on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us this morning as we get started for this week. Short week, so things might be a little bit strange, so be patient today as we get back into it from a holiday week. The volume seems to be here, though. The volume has shown up today. So we'll see how things are going to play out, guys. Hit that thumbs up, and we'll see you guys on tomorrow. And tonight's the onboarding class. Remember, we didn't have it yesterday because it was a holiday. So tonight is the onboarding class at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure to join us for that. And then right after that, we got the strategy class following the onboarding class. So thank you, guys. Take care.